Hello people, back again for another tutorial. This time using boujou mixed with Cinema 4D. First thing, we have boujou open, and we will run through the wizard. It'll make things a lot easier. Alright, first thing we need to do is to start the wizard. Alright, first thing we need to do is create a new project. Let's create one now. Hit browse. Alright, now make sure to be in the folder where we want to be. I'll call this project pan 1 full. Save. Alright, and then we hit next. Now we bring in the footage. We'll use an uncompressed AVI. For that, I'm going to have to come into a folder where I've put my work file footages. And here it is, pan1 full.avi. Next. Alright, now with this footage, it's a little bit different than the standard footage. This camera, I had a hard time trying to get working in boujou, holding the camera and then rotating myself, being the pivot for the camera, to try to get the footage. So what I've done instead is I've placed the camera on a Lazy Susan on a picnic table out back, and I placed the lens of the camera where boujou really wants it, at the dead center of the Lazy Susan, with the camera hanging off the greater portion of the Lazy Susan, and then recorded rotating the Lazy Susan. So that way the pivot point of the footage is at the lens, where boujou usually likes to put the pivot point, which is a pain in the backside, but that's the way it works. So I recorded a bunch of footage, and this is what I brought in. Next. Alright. Edit camera properties. We need to change the frame rate from 24 frames per second to 30. 384 by 288 resolution is what the footage is currently. Alright. Apply. Close. Next. Alright, now this type of pan, I believe we'll be using nodal pan for this one. Next. Free move is for, someone walking around with a camera swinging this way and that. But that's very hard to try to clean up and get working right, so that's why I've done a standard rotation like the camera was on a tripod. But anyways, nodal pan next. This shot currently has nothing to track, so we do not have any moving objects in which to put a mask over. Let's see, this footage is not interlaced, so we don't choose anything there. The focal length does not change, no zoom in, zoom out. I kept the zoom out all the way and just did a standard rotation. And asking more questions is good. If a scene does not contain any parallax, foreground seems to move through the frame faster than the background, then shot must be tracked as a nodal pan. Let's see, how much parallax is there? we'll try leave it on large amount. Let's see, motion blur. The footage is a bit blurry, so I'll say, well, I'll just leave it on none at the moment. This will help quite a bit. Change in focus? No. I didn't refocus the camera at all. No green screen markers, no blue screen markers. Plenty of trackable textures. Yes, this is a real environment, not a closed-in room with painted walls. This is outdoors, so there's lots of textures. Yes. Next. Let's see. Focal length I do not change. It's not variable. So next. How much 3D depth is there? I leave it on lots, because there's different things in the shot that change the depth. Let's see. Lens distortion, there is none. The camera is almost. It is on a tripod or being held in a fixed spot. That's the choice we want there. Is the camera mounted to a tripod? I'll say yes. The Lazy Susan acted like a tripod. Alright, now it's time to track the points. This may take a minute, so I'll be right back. Alright, the scene seems to be done. So now I should be able to scrub through, and you can see all the points as I scrub through real quick. And that's the footage I'm working with. Alright, now it's time to convert all those pluses into circles. Otherwise, convert all those tracked points into camera solved points. So we hit next. And this will take a bit, so be right back. Alright, everything is back in action. Let's take a quick preview 3D structure. Hold the thing aside. Hit play. Actually, let's scrub it through, make it a little easier. And that looks like it'll work. Alright, that should work just fine. Let's carry on. Next. Add geometry. I don't think I'm going to really need to, so I'm going to skip that step. Now I can go straight to saving the project. Pan 1 full. .c4d. Next. Save project. Finish. Now see, when I scrub through, all these little dots should stay perfectly still on their tracked points and not move anywhere but exactly where they're supposed to be. No jiggle whatsoever. And everything seems to be going really good and locking into place quite nicely. So I think I should have a nice easy time in Cinema 4D. Alright, now save the project one last time and close boujou. Open Cinema 4D. And now let's open the project.